where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another DTM Live. Yes, another Thursday night live. This is me, your boy, T-Gat Davis, and other in the studio, we have Eddie. Eddie, what go on?
Yeah, today is a sad day in Jamaican football, we should be wearing black, but, this is like this video will be like a eulogy, for the JFF and Jamaica football.
All right. So we see a lot of things been happening over the couple of days. If you guys been watching our DTM Live, we brought you 3 matches. And our watch along. We give you the Mexico versus Jamaica, in the National Stadium. Then we went away, and we give you Panama versus Jamaica. Huh?
Yeah, what just saying, Panama, Jamaica.
Yeah, man, Panama versus Jamaica. We went away, give Panama versus Jamaica. Then we come back, right back in the National Stadium, and we'll give Jamaica versus Costa Rica. Today we're going to look at those 3 games, and we're going to discuss that. We're going to see what we did wrong and what went wrong. First of all, we're going to look at the whole program. Yeah, man, we're going to look at the whole football program and where did it went wrong for the JFF and the Reggae Boys.
As well as looking at what's next, for the program in terms of rebuilding and all of that.
Yeah, what next?
And who we should keep and who we should, let go, so to speak.
So, good evening, gentle people, 13 people. Remember, as you come in, smash that like button, just smash it like crazy. Smash that like button. We'll be taking your comments. We will put in your comments live. You understand? If you want to join us, we'll soon put the stream and you can join. You can say a piece.
The link is there if you want to join.
Yeah, man, if you want to join, you can join. We can give you 5 minutes worth of fame. And you say a piece. What you think about the JFF and the Reggae Boys? You understand? Because right now, it's just, as Eddie said, we should be wearing black. We should be doing the eulogy right about now. Eddie, let's begin with the Mexico versus Jamaica. What did you think went wrong? We played Mexico at the stadium and we lost. We lost 2-1. We were playing with 10 men. You understand? We scored in the 58th minute. And first of all, Damian Lowe got a red card. We scored in the 58th minute. And then, it went all downhill. We lost the game 2-1. Understand? What you have to say? We'll be having a special guest. I don't know if he's ready. We're going to add him right about now. Yes, in studio. The Formula Sports. All right, let's just I don't know if you've been watching us. You understand? But we'll be looking at the Reggae Boy last 3 losses that they played to this World Cup cycle. We'll be going through it. We're trying to dissect it. We want to see what went wrong. You understand? Where did we go wrong? Formula, where did we go wrong? What turn we made? We played 3.
Yeah. Let me answer that first.
Yeah, recap.
We're getting a feedback. We're getting a feedback, Formula.
Formula. Yeah, we're getting a feedback from
a feedback.
Yeah.
No, understand.
Yeah, so
sure?
good now.
I'm a mute again.
Well, you're clear now. You're good to go.
You're clear now. You're good to go.
All right. I don't know what's happening a while ago. Sorry about that.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's cool, man. As I was saying before, 3 games, play 1 in the stadium, we'll go away, play 1 more, we'll come back and play 1 more, we'll lose, we'll lost all 3. And there's the next thing I want to talk to, You understand? We want to talk about the Costa Rican side. You understand? We want to talk the Costa Rican side. So we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to address our thing. Eddie, go ahead. You understand? Tell me what went wrong in the Mexico game.
Well, pretty much the same thing that has been going wrong in previous games. We failed to defend the crosses and we failed to defend the second balls. And, that hurted us, severely in that game. We tried, we huffed and puffed, we got a goal, but it just wasn't enough, And once again, taking the lead is now 3 times now we've been taking the lead in games and then not being able to hold on to that, to even a draw, losing all 3 points at the end. This time, very heartbreaking in the 80 minutes. In the span of 2 minutes, pretty much, bam, 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 and we were totally out. So the same old. That cost us in the Mexico game, pretty much, and poor game management on the whole.
Nice. Family, I want to give us your take on the Jamaica versus Mexico. We were leading. We were playing with 10 man. First of all, you understand? Damian Lowe, reckless challenge, get a red card. DJ scoring that goal, have us up in the 50th minute, and we were playing well. You understand? But the Mexican, they came back, beat us with scored 2 goals, similar position. The coach make a substitution, put on Alvis Powell, and that was it. And I got good night, sweet prince. Give us your take on the Mexico-Jamaican game.
The main thing that stood out for me in the Mexico game, some would probably agree, some won't, but the main thing that stood out for me was something that we have been seeing right throughout the campaign, and that is the lack of intensity at which the boys play at. Right throughout the entire campaign, the lack of intensity has just been appalling, right? And I think the Mexico first half was probably the worst case scenario for me personally. We were just really flat. We were exceptionally flat. So, that's the main thing for me, especially when we're in possession of the football, man. The movement, of players around the player who is on the ball is just exceptionally poor. The players is like, I've said it time and time again, just the static nature of the team when we're in possession of the ball. I think that was the main thing that stood out for me personally. But I was, we were doing the watch along on my channel, and when we saw that Alvis Powell was the one that was coming on to replace Javian Brown, everybody, all of the panelists said, I eat that. We knew what was about to happen. We knew what was coming. So it wasn't a surprise. Sad to see it, unfold the way it did, but it wasn't a surprise, to be honest with you.
But Famina, put it to you, Alvis Powell is one of our proven player over the years. Forget about the Gold Cup. He was the one that we were depending. If we could be certain and sure that Alvis Powell would be picked in this Jamaican side. You understand? We could close the eye. I could have known that Alvis, if you go right back, Alvis was one of the core players in the team.
For a long time now.
Yeah, so what? I was talking to somebody, I said that sabotage. What do you think? We're gonna bring some controversy to it. We're gonna bring some controversy to it.
We beat them hard enough. We're not gonna do that to them. But
right.
Alvis has his strengths, but Alvis also has his weaknesses. Right? And we have been seeing that for years. Right? His positional play is not just a recent issue. His positional play, or the lack thereof, has always been a problem for the Reggae Boys. So, yes, he has been a part of the setup for so long, but that particular issue has not, that particular weakness for him has not improved.
No, but family, I would say, right? I would say when the Jamaican team was setting up, all right, back in the days when we go to the Gold Cup final and semi-final, and Alvis Powell and these players were in the team. Taxi Lawrence and these players was in the team. You understand? we didn't see any weakness per se in the defense. The only thing we had weakness is midfield. We didn't have Tappa wasn't picking a ball angler. You understand? Somebody who could distribute the football. To we, the defense was solid because they wasn't letting a lot of goal. We were beating team 1-0 and 2-1. Then all of a sudden, our defense shaky. We can't hold out a 1-0 victory. We're leading 1-0 in the 50th minute and we lose 2-1. What happened to our defense?
Well, to be fair to Alvas as well, he hasn't played in a while. Right? In terms of before the Mexico game, remember his season would have been, it would have been pre-season for him in the US as well. So probably that had an issue to play as well. But for me personally, Alvas has always had, as we say, we don't say Alvas though, is not a good player. He's a decent player. But defensively, there's always been issues with Alvas. Especially if the main issue is his positional play at times is not the best. Right? That's the main issue with Alvas. And it's something that we have seen from time to time where it has reared its ugly head. So it's not a recent issue. We have seen it before. And we have been seeing it for years now, to be honest with you.
All right. So
Tiga, let me tell you one of the difference.
Go ahead.
You asked what was the difference in terms of our defense. Yes, coming into this World Cup qualifications, everybody will say that we have an excellent defense. We call the names of the players, and we were actually defending well as a team and as a unit. But that former coach there now, Theodore Tappa Whitmore, hate him or love him, he's a very defensive coach. So that added to our stability and steel at the back.
I was going to Eddie. You said I blinked that.
So if you really,
I was going to say no
organization.
Yeah, and as quote unquote, he has players that are willing to die for him. So and we saw that in his last 4 games.
That's what I'm saying.
Remember we went undefeated in the last 4 games, and then they sacked him. Him. So we get a coach now that is not so.
Eddie.
Yes, we did concede.
Against El Salvador, Eddie.
In one game in Mexico. We were having some of the same problems, but at least we were able to see up more games because the results are there.
Oh my God!
We were a little bit more solid.
I was thinking, and I was dissecting this 3 match. Period coming into this game, we were on a good note. You understand? Winning 1 and drawing 1. You understand? We're coming in good. They sacked him. So I was saying to myself, you understand? If Theodore Whitmore was there and we take that 1-0 lead against Mexico, would have we won the game?
Maybe get a draw. Who knows?
I don't think we'd have. For starters, though, Tigat, you have to remember also, that Theodore Tappa Whitmore would have been working with the backline that he was working with for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas Paul Hall would have just, come into the equation. And also, I am firmly of the belief that the levels in Concacaf has risen. The Canada team that we beat in the Gold Cup. The Canada team that we beat a couple of years ago in the Gold Cup. Right? Brethren, I know the same Canada team that right now. I want different beasts entirely. The players, because, young players have now grown up and matured into some real top dogs in Europe. We're talking about players with European title-winning pedigree. The likes of my boy there at Lille. When named Jonathan David for Lille, Alfonso Davis for Bayern Munich, Champions League, Bundesliga, right? These are players with European title-winning pedigree. My boy, the Atiba Hutchinson and Lauren at Besiktas won the Turkish Super League, right? David won League One. These are not jokes.
They're champions.
They are top quality players. They have matured. They are still young. They are still young, and look at what they have become over the last couple of years. So it's a different beast. Well, Atiba obviously isn't young, but the rest of them, are relatively young.
Just
And
take it out already.
it's a different beast entirely right now from what we played a couple of years ago. And
So,
our levels haven't really improved.
Right. So what you're saying that other teams have improved over those time, but we have not improved. That's what you're trying to say,
Yeah, man.
Formula.
No, but I mean, even when we played
we
US
have a
in the
better
World Cup,
squad, We have a better squad, but in terms of that chemistry, as as Tiga to put it, we do have a better squad compared to years ago with the likes of Antonio and
yes,
other
Right.
players joining. But in terms
but
of
the
that,
level of play hasn't improved. That's what I'm saying.
no,
Right.
yeah, you're right. Level of play, just the
Level of
personnel,
play.
but there hasn't been any major change in terms of how we
Right.
play.
So,
All right.
so other people, we see a text coming out, and some people making some accusation, and they're talking about the Gold Cup team and so on and so forth. And you just made that point a while ago. You understand? Clear as day. Even if we had that side, when I'm talking about the Gold Cup semi-final and stuff like that, they would have got trash. Because you rightly said the other players have improved. They work on their game and they are improved. While the Jamaican side has not improved. Their levels still remain the same. Nobody in a lifting game.
But I mean, look, when you look at America, for instance, like in the Gold Cup before the last one, right? With young players like Sargent and Pulisic and McKinney and those guys, right? What America and other teams were doing was taking the best young talents that they had available, right? And putting them together and, playing them, having continuity, building that team chemistry and, just natural progression of the players also, right? In terms of, their age, right? The age that they were at, right? Some of them, I mean, teenagers, for instance, they must improve. They must improve. So when you take all of that into account and then look at previous teams that we'd have had at even the 2017 Gold Cup team is a team people saying that should have had continuity. Look at those players. A lot of those players have even fallen off.
Right.
They're not doing what they were doing in 2017.
Right. Because they're right. Because Javier Brown can play a better game than Alvas Powell. You understand? And Gregory played better than Taxi. So if then they had those team that they say they have winning the Gold Cup, they would have get bored beaten, flagging. You understand?
Man, I don't really. I have to just laugh, when I see the comments by Mattox, Darren Mattox, I have to just laugh, because he's just a bitter footballer.
And Gregory are better players.
He's just a bitter footballer that wants to get into the side and cannot get into the side. I know he's talented. I know it, but it's a little bit too late for me. The whole world already said that. Done screenshot up and circulate. But
all right,
he's just like any other player that want to get into the team, but he just open me mouth. In others we keep silent, but him open me mouth. And you see what time him open me mouth at the end of the campaign pretty much. When him see everything going down.
Well, I would agree that they had better chemistry, but they would have gotten beaten. You understand? They would have gotten beaten. We can take the fact that they would have a better chemistry.
Because the competition around them is still better. It's still going to be better.
Right. The competition around them would, as your formula say, the other players, the other team would. All right, look at it per se. Remember when we were at the World Cup?
Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry.
Yep. Eddie, remember when we were at the World Cup, the 27 World Cup, when all of these players, they were playing along with Messi and those team, and then look how far Messi there, and where those players.
No transition.
You understand? No transition. All right, so that was the Mexican game. So we went away to Panama. We have not beaten Panama in our World Cup qualification. You understand? We had few success against Panama in the qualification. We never expect to win. But something surprisingly happened. We took the lead. You understand? An early penalty. They fouled Ravel in the box, and a penalty was taken by Anthony. Score. We were up 1-0. We think they could have hold on, but they didn't hold on. We lost that game again. 2-1. Formula, take it from you first, and then we're gonna have Eddie. Tell me what went wrong in the Panama game. We were up 1-0. We think we could have won that game, but we lost that game also. You understand? Tell me what you think went wrong in that game.
Just switching off at the back, basically, I think really cost us that game. Again, the movement. For me personally, the main issue in this campaign for the boys has been the movement. Because
all right, so hold on there, Formula. Remember, we take out Alvas out of the equation now. So we can't blame Alvas in this game. So go on, here we go on.
Yeah, no man. So I'm talking about for particularly one of the goals with Kemar Lawrence and my boss, Adrian Mariappa, when Lawrence made that back pass back to Mariappa, and then Mariappa, the two Panamanians pressing him intensely, and Kemar Lawrence didn't even try, didn't even seem interested in moving into space to be that out ball for, Adrian Mariappa. So Adrian Mariappa ended up having to rush the clearance now, couldn't get it away, well enough, right? Gave it, we lost possession in a dangerous area, and it came back to bite us. So, I think to be fair to them, I think the Panamanian performance was an improved performance from the Mexico game. To be fair, we saw some glimpses of what Paul Hall would have wanted to, be implementing in certain aspects, but it was always going to be a very difficult task for us to go to a country that, we have only ever beaten this team, if I'm not mistaken, once in competitive football, and we have never beaten them in the World Cup qualifiers.
We beat them in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is a team where you could probably say, them have a number. It's always a miserable time when we come up.
Them have a ticket
against Panama. Yeah. So, unfortunately, we just switched off on the goals. We just switched off, and I think pressure as well. Pressure bust pipe. People always say that, and we switched off, and we conceded some rather, cheap goals. You would say some goals that we really and truly should not have conceded. And it's sad. It's sad because we really needed to have at the very least gotten a point out of that game, man.
All right, when I get none. Eddie, tell me what you think. We're up 1-0, early penalty.
Right.
You and I were in the watch along talking about it. You were saying you think that we scored too early.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna get So tell me what you think. Give me your take
Well,
about the Jamaica versus Panama.
As Formula said, it's going to always be a difficult game. Away to Panama, we've not, beaten them. So, we went into this game not with a lot of hope, but, this game was a big game for us if we could steal it and get the 3 points. Panama, we were chasing Panama at that time pretty much. And the 3 points would have been vital. We got a good start, but, unlucky to go into the second half 1-1, unlucky own goal. And I think that we didn't really recover from that in the second half as we should. And, Panama went ahead and went up 3-1, good consolation goal at the end to make it 3-2. But, it's very disappointing, especially when you score 2 goals away from home in Concacaf. You would expect to get a result, scoring 2 goals away. And, unfortunately, we were not lucky enough to do so. So, one of those things, poor game management, as Paul has been saying over and over and over. We're not closing out games. It's just the moments in games. We're not dealing well with the moments. He mentioned that as well, and it costed us once more away to Panama.
Okay.
That's a big point, though, Eddie. That's a big point, and it's something we have noticed in the World Cup qualifiers as well.
Yes.
When the team concedes a goal, you literally see the body language, like the body language. Like you just see the body language of the team. It's like them just immediately get depressed. It's like they must say, It's like there's no plan after if we concede. And I think that
Right.
that's a solid point. The goal, especially the manner in which it came, I think
Yeah,
it knocked
yeah.
something out of the boys. Yeah.
Not the stopping out, man.
Before we move on to the final game, we have a lot of points in it because this thing of a whole per meat, you know, this is like a Thanksgiving turkey. Big old
Yeah,
something we are going to
man.
dissect and
Come
eat.
on, a eulogy, man. Eulogy.
Yeah.
That's just PH1. A PH1.
Yeah,
That.
that's all right, so before we move on, my question to you, gentlemen, do you think it was necessary to switch coach in the middle of the campaign? Because we see something develop, and which we had a feeling that it would have developed. We were praying that it wouldn't have developed, but it had developed and it showed its ugly head. Paul trying to find an 11 and try to execute his plan in the middle of the World Cup, where we were desperate to get points on the board. So I put the question to you, gentlemen. Eddie can go first and Formula second. Was it wise for the JFF to switch coach in this crucial time?
I believe so. Hindsight is a hell of a thing, and we've seen what happened, what transpired after that, I think we should have made the move a little bit earlier. It's difficult to do so because you never know what will happen, with a new coach coming in, new style of player. But I think if we had made that switch a little bit earlier, we might have, been able to ride that bad patch, and then still have some hope at the end of the tunnel. So when you give Paul all these last games, he's not able to ride a bad patch of losing 2 games and learning and the players getting used to the system. He pretty much has no option. He has to win, have to hit the ground running, and that's very difficult on a new coach. So they should have made the switch a little bit earlier.
Formula, what you say?
Eddie, shoot tonight, man. Eddie, shoot. No, man, spot on, man. It's spot on. I mean, I think that the federation is partly to be blamed as well.
Right.
I think it was because I'm not gonna say no sensible, but how could anybody think that Tappa had what it took to get us to Qatar? Me personally, me not see. Tappa, yes, you could make arguments about.
Yeah, that me I saying him buck. Him reach I say him buck.
Couldn't go no further. Couldn't go no further. Buck. The JFF. Listen, to me, Tappa should have get fired from not succeeding to the Gold Cup. You understand? We didn't make it to the semi-final of the Gold Cup. And they wanted to fire him then, but they must have wait for the World Cup. You understand?
Through a coaching error, we never make it to the semis, through coaching errors.
Yeah. You understand?
You should have went. You should have went after the first window. After the first window. Remember, everybody was saying, okay, let's give him 3 more games in the qualifiers. So the first window.
The Costa Rica draw saved him,
Yeah, exactly. You better him lose that one.
That's what I said. The writing was on the wall from the Gold Cup. They should be, because JFF know if they get into the World Cup. Once they get into the World Cup, it's all over. You can't change the team. You can't change gear in the World Cup because any new coach you're going to get, it's a new philosophy. It's a new thing because they have their own thinking. They've been watching the game and then say, all right, if we play that style here, I'm going to beat this and I'm going to beat that. Everybody will come want to execute the whole team. And this is what Paul Hall is doing now. We see good changes. You understand? We see the side looking like a side. If Paul Hall get them on a long-term basis, a 2 year, maybe could I say Jamaica beat up everybody. But in this World Cup qualification, was it necessary to, although the Arsenal don't go through the gate, was it necessary to fire the coach? You understand? To me, it was not necessary. I wanted him to go, but he should have, as Eddie said, he should have gone long time ago. And I think they should have fired him from the Gold Cup.
I think they panicked. and the realization finally hit them. said Tappa never did go work, and I think they tried to roll the dice. I think that's what they tried to do, and it never worked out. Yes, but when I said Tappa should have gone was after the Panama game.
The Gold Cup.
No, the
World Cup.
first 2 games.
The second game,
I was still, because my thing is, don't get me wrong, I knew Tappa had his limitations, but honest to God, I thought that with the talent available to us, I thought that Tappa barely made the grade. He was good enough to get us there. Barely made the grade with the talent available to us. And I will admit, I was wrong. 1 and 2, other teams like Panama and Costa Rica, I didn't expect them to perform this well in the qualifiers. Because before the qualifiers, them 2 sides then ended up going with nothing. But then step up in the qualifiers and Tappa, eventually proved me wrong that he didn't make the grade. He wasn't good enough. And after the Panama game, I was like, yo, I personally wouldn't bring him to Costa Rica. So.
All right. So we dealt with 2 phases of the game. We dealt with the Mexico, where we lost 2-1. We dealt with Panama, where we lost 3-2. Now we come back home. You understand? Clinging to hope. You understand? Eddie and I call that match the hope match. We're clinging to hope. Hope.
Mm-hmm.
We lost that match. Not miserably. As Bob Marley style. You understand? One love. You understand? We lost that match. One love and
one heart. Let's get together.
Everybody just fade away. And today we're doing the Eulogy. Eddie, tell us the Costa Rica game now. And we might have a look at the Costa Rica team. You understand? They were in a more far predicament than us. And look where they are now. Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Costa Rica is doing what we should have done. Tell us what went wrong in the final, in Paul Hall, third and final game of the World Cup campaign in this window. Tell us what you think Paul Hall did wrong. What happened?
I didn't think he did anything wrong per se. He was just out-coached. And I say out-coached because I said this in the watch along. Costa Rica has a way to play Jamaica, and they do it all the time, which is sit back in a medium to low block, give us the ball, let us do whatever we want to do with the ball. When it comes to the box, they defend well there, and they have a great goalkeeper in Navas. So they just beated us for those 3 games. And if you look, we had a lot of possession against Costa Rica, which is unheard of, because we don't keep possession of the ball against any other team in the Concacaf World Cup qualifiers. In the game,
600 and think we make 685.
In the goal, going back to the Gold Cup game, we had
87 possession. It was 87 possession and Costa Rica 63. Go ahead.
No man, not so much. Man. In the Gold Cup, Jamaica had 52% ball possession against Panama, against Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, Costa Rica had the edge, but we had 40, 43, I believe, but it's still high for us. No, at the National Stadium, we had 63% of the ball. And that is unheard of. We don't do that against anybody. And basically, them set up, They give us the ball and then they look to break. They look to punish us and set pieces and all of that. And they did that. So I think it's just, they were well coached, well drilled. And it's an experienced team. They know when to kill the game. They know when to slow down the game. Lie down, waste time. So it was just a tactical masterpiece for me from Costa Rica. We didn't do much with the ball in the second half. In the first half, we had a lot of shots. Navas had to make a few saves. But in the second half, we had the ball, but nothing really to hurt Costa Rica. And that's how they wanted to play the game. And they did that. So I think, it's just one of those things. We would always look good against Costa Rica. I think mentally, we don't fear them at all. We think we can get at Costa Rica. Even under Tappa, we tend to go at them because they give us the ball. So we'll always look good against Costa Rica. And as I said in the watch along, I'm hoping that we can look good against the next team that we play. We want to say 40-50% possession. We don't want to say any more 30s. And I think that is the issue we need to grow on that. I haven't seen that as yet in terms of keeping the ball, in other games apart from Costa Rica. So I'm hoping to see that in the next game.
Nice. Formula, tell us the final game we play. We lost 1-0 to Costa Rica. You understand? So tell us what you think Paula did wrong. Was there any improvement in the Reggae Boys? What was our take we should take from that match?
I agree with Eddie about the game management point. I think Costa Rica managed the game very well after going a goal up. I think it was a bit of a smash and grab though, Eddie. I wouldn't deem it a tactical masterclass, to be honest with you. I personally think it was a smash and grab. I think they have a good player in my boy that used to play for Arsenal.
Joel Campbell.
Joel
Campbell. Yes.
Yeah, Joel Campbell.
Campbell. It was a combination of not the best defending, but also a quality player in Concacaf, a quality player by Concacaf standards. And he has been coming up big for them in recent times in games in the World Cup qualifiers, scoring some crucial goals. So, I don't agree with Eddie on that particular point. I think it was a bit of a smash and grab. I think that game was there for us to win. We just couldn't get it over the line. The end product was not the best, right? I think that's where we fell short. I think we were, for the most part, the better team on the night and really and truly deserved to get the 3 points. Yes, to be fair, Costa Rica did sit off the ball and, sit in a mid to low block and, allowed us possession to come at them to break them down. But in all fairness, we were breaking the Costa Rican lines, on a frequent basis. Like we broke their respective lines on a number of occasions in the game. The initial line of pressure and, all the respective lines, even the defensive line, the last line we got in behind on quite a number of occasions and should have really punished them. And again, to be fair, even though Costa Rica was sitting in the mid to low block, they were trying to get, close to our players on the ball, trying to give our players, limited time and space on the ball. And we still managed to move the ball, relatively well. Right?
Because the players are old, Formula. That's the thing, they can't physically keep up. Most of their players can't physically keep up.
No, man.
So I think that's why they play that way in a Formula. If you really look at it.
Yeah, but that's a fair point. Because, by the way, I'm a little bit surprised with the personnel that they used in this particular game because they have been going with, younger bloods in previous games. But it still wasn't because, I mean, for instance,
personnel is right because we all know what they did.
We talked about that a different issue.
That later.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing.
But honestly,
right now we're focusing on the boys, Eddie. We're focusing on the boys.
In my humble opinion, though, Eddie, I don't think they gave us a lot of time and space. I think they closed us down relatively quickly in this particular game. The boys were playing in some tight spaces and playing well and progressing the ball well, right? It was a beautiful game to behold, in all honesty. It was a beautiful game.
Don't make the game tricky, don't make that game tricky, Family.
No, it's not tricky. All right. For instance, the first Costa Rica game earlier on in the World Cup qualifiers, I had said it on my platform that guys don't make this game tricky. The Costa Ricans were poor on the night, right? But I think that Costa Rica freshened up their midfield a little bit, barring Celso Borges. They freshened up the midfield a little bit, and had a bit more youth or a bit younger players in the midfield. And as I said, I don't think they gave us that. I don't think they struggled to close us down. I think we just saw a combination of one, numerical advantages, right, in the midfield area in terms of our midfield versus them with us using the 3-5-2. And
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. And the movement was a lot better in this game from our players. You saw the movement, you saw the patterns of play, you saw the patterns of movement, and I think the combination of those two things would have really and truly enabled us to.
But Formula, if you're allowed to do that, we should be able to set up those movements in a Formula. That's what you've been. If they are allowed to do that, we should see those movements. That's my point,
Yeah,
it's something they've practiced and trained on during the week. So when it comes to match day, if they are allowed the time and space, we should see that. When they're going to stand up with the ball, we should see that. So I think that's a must when given so much room.
But that's where you and I disagree, Eddie. I don't think the Costa Ricans gave us all that much room.
We get a lot of room.
No,
like a hotel. I like a hotel.
No, I disagree, Eddie. I disagree. I think from my personal opinion, I saw the likes of Bobby Reed and Speedy and Ravel, that relationship between those three players on the pitch. They were operating in very tight spaces, in my humble opinion, and the Costa Ricans were trying, were closing them down relatively quickly. But, it was just clicking. In my humble opinion, it was just clicking. You saw the movement. You saw the patterns of play. So, I think we did really, really well, man. It's the most dominant game I think I've probably ever seen the Reggae Boys play against a very credible team. Not a little small friend in the Caribbean.
A old team.
I agree, Eddie. I agree.
Well, we can disagree on that one.
Okay.
I think the Costa Ricans were a lot more mobile in this game than they were in the earlier World Cup qualifying game that we played, from my observation and from the personal use as well.
All right, so we look at the 3 game. All right.
You have an echo. Echo.
Hello?
I don't hear the echo. I'm good, man.
You hear me now?
Yeah, man. Loud and clear, man.
Oh, good. All right. Now that the dust is settled, we are out of the World Cup.
Teddy, I must watch back the match for me.
But yeah, wait for your like comment there.
We're out of the World Cup. The dream is now over. You understand?
The wake up now.
Let's go through what happened. Let's go before the World Cup begin. If these cause factors in us failing to qualify for the World Cup. Players negotiation. Does that play any factor in us not qualifying for the negotiation? Remember what happened with the Damian Lowe saga and what they were planning to drop everybody and put in everybody. You think that play a part of not us focusing and not qualifying for the World Cup? Starting a new formula.
If it wasn't for that, we would not have seen the likes of Ethan Pinnock.
Okay.
We would not have seen the likes of, all those players that showed up in the Austria game.
Right.
We probably would not have seen those players. And if we
in the US game.
In the game, and it was played in Austria against the US.
Yes. But we lost that game. That game.
Yes, true.
Although that guy did score a peach of a goal. What's his name again?
Jamalo.
Where is he?
Yeah.
That's another topic. All right, Eddie. Formula just talk about the issue. We wouldn't see a lot of players if we had the negotiation. So there's a wrong and a right. You understand? Travel issue. You think that play a part? We see people were left at airport. You understand? We see people asking for executive class. You understand? You can name everything what happened. You understand? You think this was part of the issue why we didn't qualify for the World Cup?
Well, yes and no is a ticklish thing, but logistics is always important in terms of preparation. Getting the players, to the hotel, to the training ground, to the game on time. And we saw a little bit of glitch. I think it was in Mexico where the one bus left, some of the players are left behind, the president or whatever. So, those are some unnecessary things that we don't want. We don't want to have to deal with.
Plan.
So,
You understand?
yeah, so those stuff are kind of annoying to the players, but I don't think, ultimately it really affected the campaign really. But, it's just some annoying things that we have to deal with, that we should have to deal with.
All right, Formula. Next one, I'm going to throw it to you because you started. I'm going to throw it to you. Late addition. Do you think the flux of player that came in, they came in at the right time, or they were just they were too the addition was too late for them to come into the team? That's why we failed to make it the World Cup. That was part of the chemistry. That's why the chemistry never built. These late players that were added. Eight players, 9 players, you name it.
Yeah. Honestly, common sense would tell us that that played a part. Up until I was doing some research into the Costa Rican team the other day, I was really and truly firmly of that belief. But in doing research for the Costa Rican game, I was realizing that Costa Rica themselves, especially in the midfield in this World Cup qualifying campaign, were especially in the midfield department. For instance, in the Panama game which they won, 3 of the 4 players in midfield were relatively new players to the Panamanian setup. Some of them were making their debuts had made their debuts in the World Cup qualifying campaign, but yet still they were still getting results. So,
but we never had 3 players. We had about 8 or 9.
Yes.
Midfield, defense, and forward in all 3 categories. One time we do want change all the goalkeeper. Remember, I know we do want change all the goalkeeper. I know.
Yeah, man. No, man. They have included. They had included a number of fresh faces to the Costa Rican setup during the qualifiers, right? Admittedly, not as much as us, to be fair. But in that particular game, it was 3 relatively new players that had started. But yes, I do think it did play a part for sure. Some would say that Costa Rica has a system, while we don't. Right. It has to play a part. It has to play a part. The team, on a number of occasions, you could say the team chemistry was a little bit off. Not a little bit. It was off by a good way. So I mean, we have been saying it for years now. Every time the JFF, a World Cup qualifying campaign comes around, all of a sudden, that's when they realize that the squad needs improvement.
Right. I think that's the time where I think why they do that, because it's easier for them to approach the players to say, okay, we have World Cup qualification, rather than to say, okay, we have a friendly against Cayman. You know what I mean? Or we have Nation League. So the pull is much greater when you say, okay, you have a chance to go to the World Cup. So I think that's why they wait until that time to really go and seek out those players.
No, but
by the way,
I would say, can I interject something? Although I'm asking the question.
Which one?
Can I say
overseas players?
Oh.
That's a good point, Teddy Lee. To be fair, they weren't. They were players based in Costa Rica. That's a good point.
Okay.
Hold on the Tiga. There's a fun fact. In this zone, 2 countries sacked their coaches. You can name them, Pamela. Jamaica and Honduras.
Jamaica.
And those teams are at the bottom of the table. Bottom of the table. You see what I say? So it's not just on we that we change the coach and it don't work out. The same thing with Honduras. And they were in a similar.
At the bottom of the table.
Yeah, but they changed. No, when we played Honduras, they had a chance to, I think, to go over us and to come closer. Don't remember the scenario, but they were in it. If they got a win,
Right. But we got the
but
win.
they didn't. But yeah, we got the win. So that's some fun fact.
Okay. You make me lose my train of thought with that fun with that fun All right. So after now, let's do this now. Eddie, I'm going to throw this and then to you and then Formula. Now, after failing to qualify for Qatar, what changes do you believe need to be made to improve the program? Eddie, you want to start off?
What? Is that
what
whole
changes
a
the thing?
truckload? but
so that's going to lead to something, you know.
But just
who are saved that for last.
Yeah, I'm going to leave some for Formula, but I think as Paula said rightly, there should or there need to be a rebuilding. We need to have a look at different players. We need to get rid of some of the I don't want to say that, but we need to get rid of certain players.
No,
you know what I mean? There needs to be a rebuilding. And that also at the top. That needs to be done at the top as well. Maybe a change in president, changing focus.
Yeah, no rush it. We soon got.
So it's not only rebuilding the team, but rebuilding the federation.
Eddie,
new personnel. Yeah.
All right. Get rid of some of the players, right? The players that we're looking at, they are young. Some of the players, them are young. Alvas Powell, young. Javane Brown, young. Gregory Lade, I think him about 28 or 26 or something like that. Him have a next World Cup cycle in him. You understand? And Damian Lowe, pretty much young. You understand? Tyreek, young. You understand? The old players, Mikel, Antonio, old players. You understand? Revel Morrison, old player. You understand? And then we have Leon, young player, have a next World Cup cycle. So would we get rid of these players?
Yes.
And try new players?
Yes.
Or you just continue work with them and just try to get a system out of them? I try to get something out of them.
No, man, we can't expect different results with the same players. We need a different, as I said before, we need a different. We don't need a pool. We need something smaller group to work with. We need a jacuzzi, a smaller group to work with. And we work with those players from now until World Cup. We only dip if we need a exceptional talent. If somebody pops up like another Andre Gray or some, not Andre Gray, my bad, Demari Gray. Somebody pops up like a Demari Gray. We go for those type of players. Quality players, the Antonios and so. But for now, we work with the best that we have right now and who is committed, who is willing to come and play the friendly games. Because it don't make no sense we have the players and we can't get them for friendly games. That's when we need them the most. We need them for every single game. We need to suffer, we need to win with them, we need to lose with them, we need to draw with them. So it don't make any sense we have them and we can't get them until Gold Cup or World Cup, because it's the same thing going to happen again.
Okay. All right. Mr. we're gonna try go through some comments, right? Teddy say Revel is just 29, right? And we understand that, and we know that. Say he's just 29.
He's not a good 29. He's not a good 29.
But what I know, this is what we want to go bring. I'm glad they bring up this point. The Revel we see in the first match where we just Revel showing some flashes of player and passes and stuff like that. Is that the Revel we see now playing? Now that he's playing for our club and he's playing day in and day out. Did we see that of the ball angler that we expect coming from Manchester United? We see that? Did we see that Revel?
We saw it in the Costa Rica game, but I was very disappointed with Revel. Very disappointed.
And why we saw it in the Costa Rica game? Because he was given time and space.
Okay.
Him have a
Yeah,
look
but
that way there.
to be fair, Eddie. To be fair, there are a number of occasions where you would have progressed the ball in very tight areas and would have done well. For 1, 2, in the championship, he's not given time and space either, and he does well. So why him can't handle time and space when he play for Jamaica, but him can handle it for Derby?
The level, lower level.
All right. Travis said, Taxi, Powell, Lowe, Fleming, Fisher, Watson, Bird, Speedy, all out. All right. Lowe, yeah. Lowe just signed for a new club, Miami. You understand? Taxi, I think Taxi.
No, man. I think Taxi going to retire now. Taxi going to retire now, so.
Right.
Him out anyway.
Out. Fleming's just signed for a new club. Watson out. Burke, him still there at his club. Speedy just signed. No, it's Fisher. Speedy is still in the USL. Fisher just signed for a new club. Do you understand? What if these players now, when they start playing for their club, start shine like a diamond? Start shine like the star. Are they still out?
well, first thing I don't think Damon Lowe. I don't think Damon Lowe for the panelist still.
No, Damon Lowe can't the panelist, but we just deal with presidents.
Yeah, so Travis, I don't think Damon Lowe must
start shine. What if these players start shine? Are these players still out? Are we trying a new blood of players? Are we going to try new blood players?
I think the most likely out of all of those to, be in a position where he can shine or be shining, come the next World Cup qualifiers would be Fleming's, right? I mean, he's 25, 26 now, right. And if he goes to Toulouse and he settles
if him start the game,
gets acclimatized well, not in terms of to the standard of play, etc. He could very well be a decent player, by the time the next World Cup qualify. Suppose, Toulouse is in a good position to qualify for Ligue 1. Suppose Flemo is in, he's at Toulouse in Ligue 1. Suppose they get to Ligue 1, he's at Toulouse in Ligue 1. And, he gets acclimatized to the standard of play, to the level of play. We're going to say we don't want a Ligue 1 starter in our side.
But, question though, Fabian.
But this not only go for Volana, Eddie. This not only go for Fleming. This go for all of the players. What if they transit and they go into a different side and they start shine like a diamond? Are we going to say we don't want them? We don't want a O'Neill Fisher? We don't want a Powell?
You think the French league can develop Flemings that much?
Of course. It's a top 5 league in Europe. It's a top 5 league in the world.
No, that's if he makes it to League 1.
But it's a massive possibility. Remember, Toulouse is one of the biggest clubs in France. Even though they didn't make it back to Ligue 1 last season, they were in serious contention to make it back to Ligue 1 last season. And this season again, they're in a promising position. So eventually they will get there. Common sense, my common sense tells me that anyways. Eventually Toulouse will make a return to Ligue 1 given the stature of that particular club. It's a huge club in France. And it's entirely a possibility the ball is on the books. It's entirely a possibility him could
people might beat me, but me think him buck. People might beat me, but me think him buck. That's just my opinion.
Well, it's a new word that we're going to start using now. Buck.
Me think him buck. Me think him have that much to go, to me.
To me.
I could be wrong, but me think him close to full. If as Steve had said, him can close to full. Him not have much development to me.
You'd be surprised to know, how you'd be. I'm not saying it will happen. But you'd be shocked to know, how players are put at a higher level, and them just get into the swing of things, they can never believe that a ball could put it at this level, but it happens.
Pamela, I can call that name, and I can call a name and you might just say, all right, God. There was a player that was rubbing shoulder with Big Baller. His name was Keith Kelly, one of our promising midfielder. You understand? And he
All
was
right. All right. Kill him, Tigat. Kill him, Tigat.
yeah, Keith Kelly, promising midfielder, one of the wickedest youth footballer we ever see. And at that age, Flemmer couldn't walk in a Keith Kelly. And he was in France too, rubbing shoulder with Big Baller, Anelka, and you name these baller. Where is Keith Kelly? Didn't climatize, don't not that's come out of Keith Kelly. Where is Keith Kelly now?
Yeah, but to be fair, Keith Kelly is an anomaly. Players like Keith Kelly who shine in their younger days and who much is expected of them and they don't deliver. To be fair, those players are anomalies. I can give you a whole ton load of examples of players that Dele Alli, perfect example. Initially when Dele Alli moved to Tottenham, remember, he was coming from MK Dons in the English third division.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They never expected him to automatically hit the ground running in the Premier. Huge gap between League One and the Premier. But yet still as he went to Tottenham, he hit the ground running and right away became one of their better players. Right. And Keith Kelly never do too badly. He was on a half-season loan in the Belgian Pro League, And he was a starter for them, so I don't know what happened after that.
Them a beat you. Big up special edition.
Him drop
them
off.
Special edition, big up yourself. Big up. You're not making sense. Them a beat your formula.
And which point?
Yeah, please. Tell us which point. Because my Dele Alli point was an excellent point. So
hold on. On the Dele Alli point, why Dele Alli sink, because me I follow a story there. One, him start date Pep data. You understand? And once him start the dated Pep data, things never had work out for him. Then he got robbed. Them hold him up and rob him. And then something they traumatized. And then coach, you understand? The coach never had work out for him. Mourinho never had use him and all them something. So he had odds going against him. You understand? He had a coach that believed in him in Maurice. Yeah, in Maurice. Yeah, and Fran Maurice left, not now one for him again. So he had something that went out of his football career and he just went down the hill. You understand? Can't say the same for Keith Kelly. You understand? He was rubbing shoulder. Keith Kelly never climax. He never climax.
What kind of climax?
Meaning go peak.
Yeah.
Why?
All right.
But
he never reached to the peak. You understand? Keith Kelly never reached to the peak. Dele Alli reached to the peak. He just never stay up there. Keith Kelly never go up there.
Tigat, we have seen players who were never expected to make the grade at a certain level, make the grade at that particular level and transition to that level. And we have also seen young players coming through who were expected to be that, star. And they never went on to be that star. There's a ton load of them. Alexander Patu, Freddie Adu, Bojan, Kirkic. There's a number of them that showed tremendous promise.
All of them better than Flemmer.
Exactly. That's true. But that's not the point. We're making an analogy here, right?
Analogy.
That's not the point, right?
But as I said before,
can work either way.
You can go either way. It's either make it or flop. One out of the other.
We want to make it. We want to make it because we need some experience because he's very young. We want him to get that experience to come and impart on the regular boys and some new look. All right. Now,
can I say
that point and we go and embellish on it.
Can I say this one last point?
Go ahead, Formula man. Go ahead.
Players, all the time we have seen it in world football where players found a level that they themselves never expected to find.
Yeah.
And went up on another gear that they themselves never expected to go to that level. So it happens. It happens.
All right. So Eddie, talk about it. Just mention about it. We're going to go deeper down in it now. Paul Hall is talking about rebuilding is in his post-game interview. All right, Paul Hall talking about rebuilding. Who Paul Hall to
Go
really
easy upon
call
Flemmer.
back? Huh?
No, continue. Me just tell him to go easy upon Flemmer.
Okay. Who Paul Hall should really call back now for the rebuilding process? Should he call back the younger players, the Flemmer, you understand, the Javian Brown and some the much younger players, you know,
Tell us something.
the one from Aston Villa, in the we play with Aston Villa there.
Leon.
Aston Villa.
Let me tell you something.
Eh?
Let me tell you something.
We don't want them lock me off and shut off the thing there. We play with Aston Villa there. Bailey's.
No Bailey.
The Bailey.
Let me tell you something.
Should he call for these players now? Which player Paula should really call for the rebuilding?
All right, let me take this.
Should he remain king? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me take this first. Let me tell you. Him for call players, yes, but him for lose some players' number. Him for lose Javanese number. Him no fair delete that out of him phone.
Okay.
You understand? Alvas Powell, O'Neal Fisher, Javan Watson. Just delete them.
Come on, Watson number delete long time, you know.
Yeah, taxi.
Number delete.
Lose taxi number. And maybe even maps. A good run maps, but you know, no generation.
Yeah, maps old now. You understand?
You can keep maps name in your phone, but you know, just don't call him.
For
you
what?
Understand? Don't call him. When we go up Tappa now.
Grant?
Yeah, Grant. We see a film number, but not call him. But in terms of making the calls now, you have players like King, speed dial. Right away, speed dial. You know, the young players with Maggie, you need to add back Maggie number to your phone.
Right.
You might get a club soon, you need to add him back, just in case him find a club. You know what I mean? I still see there may be something in Peter Lee Vassell. Make sure you call Jamal Low. Find back his number, give him a call. Antonio will still going to use him. Bowser. Still need Bowser. Andre Blake. Person giving me a lot of stick, but he's still our number one. You know, when last a keeper make 2 saves in 2 games. Just look at it internationally, worldwide, club level. You don't see things like that. You know. So he's a high quality goalkeeper. He made a few mistakes, yes, but I think he's been at that high level. He hasn't really made mistakes over a long period. So I can't really kill him and say, okay, our next man must come in. Right? Ethan Pinnock, give him a call. Still keep Damon low. You have to call him just the same experience, leadership. Javian Brown, give him a call. You know, get some overseas numbers to your phone too. Try to make that link overseas. Get some overseas players like, you know, James Justin. We need to improve the right back. You know, those type of players. Call Kevin Stewart. You know, Speedy, you can kind of give Speedy a little break. You know, you really have to call him. You know what I mean? That often. For me.
Okay.
Ravel.
Formula.
Same thing with Ravel.
Lose Ravel 29. Lose him number. Yeah, it's 29. You think him have a work-up cycle and he can do some experience in the middle. Keep the game and stuff like that. I would watch it. I would watch Ravel. Watch Ravel time in England. See what he's doing in his club. You understand? Before you're losing number, because you know him unstable when he come on to club. He's here, there, and everywhere. You understand? Just watch him progress and stuff like that, and then keep his number. If he might make good progress, you call him, because in the World Cup qualification, you're gonna need somebody with experience in the middle to slow down the game.
Yeah, Anthony, Hakeem Paris, busy. Yeah. Them players are naturally.
You understand? And keep the ball. All right. What say you, Mr. Famler? Who you think Paul Hall should really let go, and who you think him should call now to do the rebuilding process of the Reggae Boys team? right now for the last 3 games? Because I think him should call some new players for some new players right about now. You
Yeah,
understand?
I
Who you
agree.
think? Yeah, who you think him should call right about now?
I think what
Start look at.
Paul Hall needs to do is he needs to set up a depth chart for every single position, from the forward, go right back to the goalkeeper, and look at the best players available, the top 10 best players available to the country, whether they can come now or whether they have to sort out documents. Top 10 best players available.
Big up official.
the top 10 best players available to the nation, and work with that going forward, and under a certain age as well, under the age of, I'd probably say 27, right? Because 4 years from now a 27-year-old would be 31, right? To err on the side of caution, I personally would go with the top 10 best under the age of 27, and also keep an eye on some young guns coming up through the ranks in both Jamaica and overseas jurisdictions as well, who are eligible to represent us. So I think that's the way going forward. I think certain people like Lewis Baker needs to be brought into the setup if they can. If they can get a Lewis Baker, Demari Gray, can we still cap that player? Like how the campaign is done, we need to try and cap that player, right, as quickly as possible. It's a damn shame we couldn't cap him in this particular window. But so I think that's the way forward. I think players like Damian Lowe I wouldn't take to the next World Cup qualifying cycle.
I can't say why. Why?
Make him talk on the way. I ask him why the crowd are gonna beat him. 74 people in the chat. Please smash that like button.
Smash the like button.
Please smash that like button, people. Just smash it. We beg you. We're not asking nothing much. Just smash that. 73 hour now. Just smash the like
button, man. Smash it,
man. Just smash the like button. Just press like. It's a little arrow that said this. You understand? You look at and that say this. Just press it. It get black. You understand? Just smash it. If you look feel about that like, no, you're not gonna say it's an unlike this. Just press it. Just press it first. All right, go ahead, Formula.
Formula, your strategy of capping players has not worked for 24 years. I don't understand that comment. What is he saying?
The Formula. Why Damian Lowe should lose Damian Lowe number?
Because there's no Damian is what 28, 29 right now. There's no telling
28.
what he will 28. There's no telling what he'll be at 32. There's no telling. That's what once players go over 13. Yes, to be fair, it's a different age and a different time where players are taking care of themselves and their careers are lasting longer. Fair point, but still it's a bit of a risk when you I wouldn't build with a lot of players in the squad that are over the age of 27. That's me personally. I think when you're getting in at the age of 32.
So that means no Antonio then. You say no Antonio then?
No, Antonio. It's a shame. Such a very good player. Arguably, in my humble opinion, arguably the first world-class player that I know of representing Jamaica. Right? It's a shame that we're only gonna have him for a couple of games. Right, but when is the next Gold Cup?
Gold Cup keep every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
2 years.
Right.
So no,
next year's Gold Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so next year Gold Cup.
I probably wouldn't even take him to the Gold Cup, to be honest with you.
No, man, we have to take him to the Gold Cup. We have to take him.
Man, at 31, man, we need to go forward with. Try and see if we can get a.
So you want a policy in terms of age, a cutoff.
Yeah, man, but Eddie,
but sometimes you still have the quality in a formula, because earlier you talk about Canada and you mentioned a lot of old players. We see the Costa Rica side, a lot of old players, and they're still getting the job done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So certain players, I believe certain players, age don't matter at this point for certain players.
First of all, Ricardo Fuller was not world class, my friend.
No, man.
Second, very good player, but not world class.
Not world class.
Yeah. Costa Rica's coach realized in this campaign that the old guard was not going to get him to Qatar. And hence he went back into his league and introduced some fresh blood, right? Mikel Antonio, by the time, the next World Cup thing comes around, will be 35. There's no telling what he'll be at that time. Plus, Mikel Antonio is injury prone, right? Injury when you have players who are injury prone, their careers definitely don't go the distance because the injuries do take a toll on their bodies, right? So it's a shame and it's sad that we only would have had Mikel for a couple of games. But me personally, I would not go forward with Mikel, not because of his quality, but just sadly, the age, man, 31,
but at least we can try and utilize him, say for a Gold Cup and Nation League, say we can win those competitions.
Right.
Fair,
but him still have some more.
Have some people learning off of him. Yeah, have some people. I just said pick a squad of players where people can learn off of Mikel, learn off of a Maps, learn off of a Grant. So when they drop them player fully when the World Cup. All right. I was going to ask this question. When do you think we should call all of these players together or cap all of these players? Somebody give a list of players. I had it up. You understand? I had it up and I want to put it in. All right. Yes, there it is. Chris Smith. Name out all of these players we have in what can represent us. All right. Do we cap these players now? Get them in the squad and start work them now for the World Cup? Because the next World Cup campaign, I think Concacaf will host this World Cup. Right? Am I right? Correct me, Eddie.
Yeah, US, Mexico.
US, Mexico, and Canada.
Oh, you mean the World Cup?
The World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup, yes.
Yeah,
so these three teams will automatically be qualified.
Don't bank on that, Tiga. Don't bank on that. Just don't bank on that, my friend. Right now, bank on that. Tiga, right now, if Curacao, Curacao.
No, hold on, no, this is hold on. Just let me say the point. Mexico, USA, and Canada will all automatically qualify for the World Cup. So we have teams now. We are going to battle for the next 4 positions now. You understand? The Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, El Salvador, Trinidad and Tobago, and when you say there, we would have big up anybody.
Suriname.
Yeah, you understand? You remember the side where we have in a Gold Cup too? What the side where we have in a Gold Cup?
Guadeloupe.
You understand? We have all of these side team coming up. Do you think the JFF should call these players now? All the players where they can cap. Call them now. Get them ready for the side and don't wait until a year before the Gold Cup, before the World Cup qualification start to call them. You think now is the best time to get them cap in the team?
They should try.
Formula go first.
They should try, but it won't happen. Knowing the JFF and seeing, the pattern of how the JFF operates, the pattern and the trend, it won't happen. Calling up these players right now, the JFF is not going to do it. They should, but they won't. Some of these players, though, it might be very challenging for us to get them in, right? Especially right now. The likes of
challenge. What do you mean challenge? If they say they want to represent our country.
But that's the thing, they're not saying it. They're not saying it in a thing. And that's why I challenge it.
Look, I know that you have players in England who, like for instance, Raheem Sterling, ended up representing England, but you can see Raheem Sterling loves Jamaica dearly with all his heart, right? The England pull is such a strong pull, though, right? And you know what I think goes against us too? I think if our hierarchy conducted themselves in a more professional manner and run the thing or the thing supposed to run,
right,
it would attract a lot more of these players, right? But the stories in England about our hierarchy over here and how, unprofessional things are, right, it turns off a lot of these players as well, right?
All right,
So
with a hold
it
on,
makes
hold
it
on, hold
difficult
on,
for them to make the
hold on. The
commitment.
formula with a Paul Hall in place now as our coach. And I said, we don't know if JFF going to keep him or they're going to let it go. We don't know if they have the money to keep him. If they keep him and Paul Hall based over England, they think he can persuade these players now to come.
I
They
think
don't
he
have to
would
have
be,
hold on, no. They don't have to have camp now in Jamaica now, we know. He can have camp in England now. And he can coach those ballers over there. You understand? And then bring them and then try to interject some of the local players them into his farm, into his thing. I was just thinking about that. What do you think?
he would be more persuasive than previous coaches, yes. But if we go with Paul Hall full time, I sincerely and certainly hope that the JFF don't have him on this, continue on the same basis with him balancing both Jamaica and QPR. If we were supposed to go full time with Paul Hall, he would have to be here full time, right? And not trying to balance both. So him being in England really and truly wouldn't be an option. But my thing is, yes, he would be a bit more persuasive than previous gaffers, I think. But the reputation of our country, our lack of footballing, the reputation of our footballing culture, our lack of footballing prestige and success, and the pull of England, both from a monetary and a prestige standpoint, will make it, decisions for players like Ivan Toney, Dwight McNeil, Kyle Walker-Peters, and even, Ivan Toney and those players. It's going to be a difficult decision for them to make. And I think, I don't know, probably sometimes, to get them in as early as possible, it would be a bit difficult to do that because who knows, probably like Ivan Toney can't really seem to make up his mind what he want. You get what I say? But
he make up my mind though.
you know what, Ivan Toney?
You know what, him.
Eddie, the question I'll go to you then. All right, if so be the case, if JFF fail to call these players no. When we say no. Why should they wait until 1 year or a couple months before the World Cup qualification to call them and mess up everything? It's going to be the same thing that has been done in previous year. If they fail to call them now, if they fail to convince them no to come, should they call them 6 months? Why must they call them 6 months? Why? Eddie.
Because I think that's the tradition. It's habit, bad habit.
It's not going to. We're going to have the RT. This is
bad habit are the worst.
Like how we got the RT,
Are the hardest thing to get rid of. Are the bad habits. They've been doing this for decades.
It's culture of being reactive.
So they're going to do the same thing again. Trust me. And then sometimes, sometimes you can, to the JFF credit, you might have players that say no. They might say no, and key point, Mikel Antonio. He's been saying no for the longest while until he said yes. So you might have a few players that might say no, and then closer down, them say yes. So obviously, still have to bring them in because they wanted them before.
No, but if JFF get the right players, you understand, and get a right system, you understand, to play football and we start winning no match. Wouldn't need these players when I make up their mind. You understand?
Yeah, but,
if you leave out some of the players then that need for
the grass is always greener. The grass is always greener. So even if we're playing well and we say, oh, the ball they just have, Jamaican heritage. Let's just try and get it. The grass is always green on the other side. So they're going to still be tempted to make that last minute change, to run to England or anywhere else and grab a player or two. As I say, that's the culture to you got. And then suppose a big baller come up. Don't you go on the baller? Suppose you hear say just James Justin or Kyle Walker Peters want to play. Obviously we are gonna say yes. And that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when the quality is high, we're going to say yes. And that's not you got.
I think we should
So,
change we should
yeah,
change
I
that.
think it gotta stop. I think it gotta stop.
We should change that. We should change that. This is a
Tiga,
tough question. I know a
them
lot of
them
people
say
not
to
going to
stop shout.
like it. Huh?
I saw him stay in a PA guy, you know. All when him send voice note, you know, you have to turn on your voice note.
Pig.
Man, loud.
Boy. Pagan, sorry my boss. Sorry my boss. But you used to
People,
live
people, they
near
turn
river.
on when you turn on your
You used
phone,
to live near. I ask
TV
my friend them. You have a couple
or
friends them.
computer.
Yeah, me have a couple friends them, you understand? We used to live near river, and we go play ball, and they used to call me and they say, yo, Tigan! I have a shout back, you know. Yeah, man, if you know the river, you used to live near river, man. All right, so some people now gonna like us, and we know say we are gonna get a lot of cussing and stuff like that. But
We,
yeah, army are gonna get a lot of cussing. Family, I'm gonna start with you again. Do you think the JFF should remain in position, or the key players from the president right down to the technical staff after this field World Cup campaign? Do you think they are good enough to continue this program?
They're not good enough in my humble opinion. The problem though is, do we have anybody better? Right? I think do we have anybody better to replace them, right? To be fair to the JFF, and I'm not the biggest fans of the JFF by any means, but to be fair to them, I do see where attitudes are changing. They might not be changing quickly enough, right, to our liking as fans, but I see an attempt, right? Honestly, the thing with the JFF is that it's as much about the personnel as it is about how the organization is structured, right? I think the entire organization, in order to best maximize the capacity of the JFF, not only our overall of personnel would need to occur, but also our overall of Jamaica's entire footballing structure, to be fair. Even the structure of the federation itself, right, for us to really and truly have a properly functioning Jamaica Football Federation. But short answer, no. The individuals there currently are not up to scratch.
Eddie, who in the JFF should take this this blame for this field campaign, miserable campaign? Who you think should go? Who you think should
what?
really pack up them bag and leave? You understand? Because you can't blame the coach alone. You understand? And the
Man,
players.
everybody. Mr. Speed rightly said that, when the team fail, the JFF fail. So when Tappa fail, everybody fail. So on that notion, I do want to say everybody, I want to see changes from top to bottom.
Okay.
You know what
So,
I mean?
and
The technical
when
team,
you're talking about
because
hold on.
they made a mistake not getting rid of Tappa earlier. So they failed
Right.
on that
Right.
part. So everybody have a part to play. Ricketts is the same. So everybody at the top need to be either we have some change or some reshuffling, but something drastic has to happen. We need
Okay.
a new JFF, a vibrant, younger JFF.
A brand new JFF, Eddie.
Fans out
new.
there.
With
My
plastic
77,
on it.
78, 80 fans out there. Smash that like button. I'm putting this question to you. Tiga is putting it. Do you think that the JFF should pack their bags and go? If so, who you think should leave? Do you think the president and the vice president should leave, or should the technical team leave? Fans out there, put it in the comment
Everybody.
section. Tell me, you understand, who you
The flight
think
ready.
should leave, and who should take the bunch of the blame for this miserable campaign. Formula. The JFF, as you said, the JFF take their own time to dismiss the coach. We had Mr. Speed, and the decision, the technical team made the decision long before the Panama the Mexico game. You understand? Long before the Costa Rica game, before the game, when they say he had 7 points and he only got 4. You understand? They say he was supposed to get sacked from then. You understand? They make recommendation. It still didn't happen. You understand? Do you think that the JFF, when they're making this change, do you think that anybody in the JFF should remain? Do you think?
Again, in some of the positions in the JFF, right? I definitely think the board needs to go. For the most part, I think the board needs to go. Like the president, the vice presidents, the general secretary.
Yeah, man, Gen Sec, everybody.
They definitely need to go, right? So, for instance, the position of technical director, right? I see our good friend Travis, include, all of them must go. But the technical director position now, who better is there to replace a Wendell Downs? We might not, some people might not be the biggest fans of Wendell Downswell, but who better is there to replace him? Sir Speed, who better is there to replace Rudolph Speed? Who can do a better job than some of those individuals? So, that we have in the country currently. So, unless we're going to go for overseas and can we pay people from overseas to come and be our technical director? Or
That's
to come and chair our
that's why I said reshuffle. We might have to reshuffle, do some reshuffling.
But if we do the reshuffling, all right, I'm listening to you guys. If we do the reshuffling, you don't think we're gonna get back the same results that it was going? You think the reshuffle?
Not necessarily.
I say, all right, say if we put a Speed as a president, you think Speed is going to make the same decision like how Ricketts is making now?
That's tough.
Yeah, but at least he's a football man, He's a football man, Remember, Sir Ricketts is not really a football man,
And he's also a business mind.
Right. So I think there would be some improvement there. And also Speed had mentioned that he did a lot of marketing work. So he's good at that. So even as a marketing, officer, manager, whatever, he can get sponsorship. He has gotten sponsorship for JFF in the past. So stuff like that, putting people over other sections and so could work. Could.
But you know what I would like to see? I would like to see somebody with vision. Somebody who can see vision, see ahead. You understand? Do what?
Right.
I was on a program and they were just opening my eyes. Our good friend, Coach is there, our good friend, Coach, and they were talking about Canada and Canada build them side for 4 years. You understand? I see them now tapping into. That is what I want to see. I don't want to see somebody coming in. Yeah, them a marketing manager, them a business. I want to see somebody come with a vision. Say, guess what? Maybe we don't make it to the next World Cup, but I'm going to put something in place. After the other World Cup and the other World Cup, we'll be there. This is what we want to see, because from Jamaica qualified for the 98th World Cup, nobody has no more. The vision wasn't there again. Nothing never built upon. Nothing at all never happened. So I would like to see somebody coming in the program with a vision to set football program in Jamaica. You understand? One person that has that vision, but is very
Craig?
Okay.
But no, from here, it's one person that has that vision.
That's radical.
But believe it or not, Believe it or not. Even if other coaches they don't share it, I don't know, experts like Craig share the vision that he has. People might say whatever, but he has a vision. He has a vision. and he know what he's talking about.
But Tigat, having a vision is not only, and I'm not saying this in relation to Mr. Craig Butler, but having a vision and being able to implement it, is two different things, because one of the things that I think will always be crippling the JFF is its ability or the lack thereof to attract individuals of a certain business acumen. In terms of individuals of a certain business acumen, these individuals are going to go where the money is, right? These individuals are going to go into better situations rather than taking up JFF problems from them head, right? Because remember, JFF is a voluntary organization, right?
Yeah.
That is what it is said, right?
Voluntary.
No, but we are talking about over the top now, over the top dollars we are talking. We're not talking about no. We are talking about legitimate dollars. See, read between the lines. See, so and allegedly.
Yeah, alleged.
So the ability to attract these kind of individuals, the JFF is always going to find it difficult to do, because, so for instance, a top man from the private sector was to assume the role of presidency of the JFF, right? Automatically, if he were to leave that private sector job to go do that now, automatically he would see a massive deduction in pay. A massive deficit. That the man have a lifestyle, the man have big house, the man have big car. Love for football alone now can cut it for him. So unless the JFF restructures itself, it's going to be very difficult for the JFF to get out of the hole that it is currently in. They are trying, though, to be fair to them. I don't think they have the capacity to take it very far.
Travis, you said T got to make Butler Friday. No, Travis, but this is it. Him always talk about, and you can see, we know that he has an attitude problem and he's very arrogant. We all know that. You understand? But he has done things, you understand, where and he put things in place. For instance, he put Mona. Him talk and him put Mona High School where nobody never recognize. You understand? And he put his word to his mouth and him talk. They did play some football. You understand? They did play some football
illegally.
They did play
illegal
some football.
ball.
Yeah, they did play some football, and you can't see it, and it make you wonder. You understand? It make you wonder. Maybe if he had an humble thing to him, you understand, it could take him a long way. But it make you wonder. Say maybe this man can do something, but the pattern of him do things, you don't want to give this man a shot. You understand? But maybe that is just another. That is just for me. I see him do some things. You understand? We don't see him do something. I think Speed wouldn't do for a nice coach. I don't know if they want to do a youth coach or whatever. I don't think him down do for the senior coach or maybe assistant to the senior coach. But Speed wouldn't be a nice coach because you see what he does at Cavaliers. And those are the things you look for. You look for people who do things. You understand?
So give one of the youth team then.
Yeah, give one of the youth team them to work with and stuff like that. You understand? Make him move. Butler have some plans. Work with these fellas. You understand? Work with these fellas.
The president said after the game, say I'm not leaving. So
that need for change.
He's not stepping down. So
that need for change. Because we're going to get the same result. What can the president do now to what the president can do?
You know what's so crazy though? I remember when America, failed to make it to the World Cup and they basically cleaned the house.
Right.
These individuals in the JFF have been there since Wappy killed Phillip, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been there for a long time. How many failed World Cup campaigns have we seen and these individuals are still there? Look at the
About
success
20
America is having.
Yeah, about 20 odd. And we have
Become
players.
part of,
We have
it become
players.
part of the culture now, man.
Yeah, we have players playing in top league. You understand? When
Wait, have we ever
the Reggae boys
dropped out so early with 3 games to play? I probably need to check something like that because of the early exit in the formula. With 3 games to go.
For as long
Yeah,
as
man.
I can remember,
I think the last World Cup will drop out early too. I think the last World Cup will drop out early.
we did
Yes, man.
still, yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
think,
We'll
yeah.
drop out early. When
But
Boer
that's
coach,
something to
we'll
check.
drop out early
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we need to check that out for real, yeah.
Yeah, man. We'll drop out early, man. Drop out early.
It's embarrassing, you know.
Yeah.
Very embarrassing.
And
It's very depressing.
It's just
The age of football is. You understand? It's not like we done so football like one time now. Everybody I watch football and we don't love to see, even if they go World Cup and get beat up, but we don't just want to see Jamaica go to the World Cup. Just like how we're going to the Olympics. You understand? And then something that we don't just love to see
Thank
Jamaica
God,
going to the
thank
World
God for
Cup.
the reggae girls.
You understand?
Thank God for reggae girls.
On that note, Bunny Shaw scored yesterday. Rather, she's in the final. The Manchester City women will be playing Chelsea women in the domestic final. So yeah, man, we still keeping a tap on the reggae girls. Bunny Shaw.
She'll be going up against fellow reggae girl, Drew Spencer for Chelsea.
Yeah, man.
So a reggae girl will be lifting the FA Cup.
A reggae girl. So we keep in top of them. We're going to start cheer for the reggae girl. We're going to start flinging.
Man, reggae girls content, man. Like, whoa.
Yeah, you know, we need to
Tiffany Cameron, big up yourself. Yeah. Marlo, big up yourself.
Put our support. Why the reggae girls don't have this kind of contention like how the reggae boys having this kind of contention? Famila, why?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. It's the 800. I don't know. As for some reason, the girls' program, probably it's egos. I don't know.
What that Travis? What that Travis? You know, like the shots, them Travis. What that? Like the shots. What that Travis?
Imagine, you enough to be a fan of Tiffany Cameron Marlo and
Marlo. You ever see them play there?
Just enough to be a fan of
Sydney Snyder
and Bonnie and
Swaby sisters. Come on, Travis. Get it together, man. Travis.
Yeah, man. Get it together, Travis. Get it together.
Man. Be like Javan, man. Be like Javani.
Yeah, man. I blaze up the fire for the reggae girls then.
All right, so gentle people, what next for the reggae boys though? What next? What next for the reggae boys? Do we use new players for the next 3 games, or we still play out these old players? Do you think the English-based players will come? You think the club are going to allow them to come now because it's getting critical time now in the English Premier League now?
Nobody waste time. Nobody call him. Nobody waste time.
Yeah, because they're going to wait. So West Ham is going to go for Champions League position and all these things, and Brentford not going to get wanted to get relegated and stuff like that. So we know that Michael and Ethan is definitely out. Bailey now want to settle into the side now because he have Gerard now a coach and everything because he hasn't played a good game yet. So do you think Paul should call stay in Jamaica now, watch some local game, get some players together, try to implement his system, and then let them play the last 3 games? Let's start with what? Formula, what do you think Paul should do? No, stay in Jamaica, start use local base player and USL players. Not to call no USL players. Don't call no Damian Lowe, nobody. Just use the local. What do you think? Give these guys a shot?
Honestly, I don't even know, to be honest with you, Tiga, because a lot of the local players that he is gonna be calling up. Let's say the younger local players, whether locally based or locally born, right? Giving them the World Cup qualification experience, is it really going to help us going forward? Because come the next cycle, you know, don't be surprised if most of those players, you know, will not be the ones, you know, that, you know, will be featuring for us in terms of, you know, they would not be the standard bearers, right? I wouldn't be surprised if most of them won't make the cut, you know, in terms of won't give us a realistic shot of making it to the next qualifying cycle. And it's not because of lack of talent, but, you know, the development of our players in Jamaica is not the best. So, and then, you know, I wouldn't want to see them really and truly try and put pressure on the relationship between the federation and the clubs for our overseas born players or overseas based players, right? Whether it be a Leon at Aston Villa or a Mikel at West Ham, because the fact of the matter is the clubs are not going to want to send these players. They're not going to want to. So I wouldn't want to see the JFF try and pressure that in terms of trying to bring those players here and kind of disrupt the relationship or make it untenable.
Good point, Detta.
So I honestly, I personally, I don't know what we should do. I mean, I guess just, I don't know, try and see if I can find the best young players to see out the fixtures. I don't know, the best young players available.
Okay. Eddie, well, I like these points, gentle people. I'm just throwing it out there because the president was making assertion that he's not going to call players anymore because of finances and stuff like that. So where would he be calling the players then from?
I don't
That's
understand.
why I throw this out there, you know, people. That's why I'm asking the question.
I guess most of the cars them it must begin with 876. You know, most of the cars them we have. So you take up your phone 876, the local ballers them. And use somebody.
So I understand American, what you guys are saying.
Yeah, the American era code. Pick out some of them.
Players like Lamar Walker won't be
Walker. Yeah, them players there. And if you still call some of the UK based players, if they are willing, we use them. If not, we work with who is willing. Simple.
We don't try to keep the Taylor right now, you know.
Support them on the same travel allowance. You understand? The private jet and all them sub there. Do we still call them and the JFF say they don't have the money? Do we still call them? Suppose we can't say we can't get them. We can't get them first class no more. Or business class. You understand?
You know what we should do for the next window too? You know who we should, which
them are regret.
Them are regret.
We need to seal them up.
The main aim of the next window is to keep them are regret. No business of Everton one Bex. If they don't want to release the ball of your field World Cup qualifying campaign, we have to try our best to try work with them. If I even present if you take up the phone and call Gray and say, boss, just work with you, man. Just work with you. We need to cap your boss. We need to cap you.
Because you're the future. We want to build around you.
Yes, there you go. I saw you for a reason with the man I met the man. If it's even for set to Everton say, look, we just bring him out to play one game.
Right.
Just a 3-minute run out or a 1 minute run out, just get him on the pitch for the first qualifier, and then we can say we're not going to feature in Harris a qualifier them. See, just that first game there, give him a 1 minute run out, and then we just send him.
Yeah, man. If the passport ever get stamped up, man.
Safe and sound. Yeah, man.
Okay, good. Eddie, so what say you? Still up on the question. Did Paul stay in Jamaica and get some local players rebuild?
Me answer it, man. Me answer the question.
Oh, you did? Okay, okay, all right, cool. So we should still call back some of the English players, them, you know.
Just a few. Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, just a few, and then we just get this thing over with. You understand? Some say that the campaign is still not over. Hope.
The Costa Rica, the COVID. Listen.
Oh my God. So
and nobody else said that.
Too much hope, brother. Too much hope. Hope gone, man. Hope river dry up. The hope river dry up.
Hope river gone. I'm telling you.
But I guess we have to talk about it still. We still have a touch on it.
Ah boy. All right. So What next? Keep Paul or fire Paul all? We don't have the money.
Keep Paul Hall. I think Paul Hall.
Yeah,
Paul Hall has done
we
enough.
bring new coach for now. So what? Make we say Paul Hall, man. But if 10 game and him not win nothing, we have to leave it.
And 3 game him lose, 4 game him lose,
I give him 10
4
games.
straight game him lose, 4.
Him lose 4. If him can't win in a 10 game, I have to leave. Trust me.
4 straight game him lose.
We can't lose 10 games straight. Sorry. Not
if him lose all right. What if him lose the other 3 World Cup qualifier?
I 7 that,
Yeah. So
no, man, keep them same way, man. Keep them same way. It depends on how we lose, though. If we lose like how we lose playing Costa Rica, and then
lose. That them lose, they even worse.
No, Eddie. No, may I pre the overall picture. And the thing about it is that we don't know the personnel that will be used in the next window. Also, the main reason that I'm for Paul Hall, Paul Hall is a proven developer of top class talents. Right?
Yeah.
Eze is currently in the English Premier League. He came through Paul Hall's hands, right? And you guys know Eze, that baller that will play for Crystal Palace, right? So this is an individual who knows the Jamaican footballing landscape, right? He understands the lay of the land where Jamaica's football is concerned, right? And he knows about a proper development system in place, and he knows how to operate within said system. So I think that Paul Hall can work with our national program to revolutionize Jamaica's football. I feel even no business about him is him lack of head coaching experience at the men's senior level. I think he's learned enough that he is definitely I think he would be a better coach than the previous gaffer, right? And to be fair to the previous gaffer, he did have some good accomplishments, right? PhD in football, which is a UEFA pro license, a man that's very intelligent and seems very willing. He seems to be a student of the game, constantly wanting to learn and constantly wanting to improve. So given all of those factors, man, right now, I'm even business if Paul Hall lose the next 5 games, to be honest with you, right? I think he can revolutionize Jamaica's football. Put in a proper development system in place, a proper development structure in place that can develop our locally born talent into top-notch players. If I even that.
All right. Me I give Paul Hall the Nation League football. The World Cup, all of the World Cup qualification game and the Nation League. If him can't give a good result by the Nation League, I think we should look elsewhere. Understand, and try develop try put something in place. You understand? May I get the JFF the end of the World Cup campaign. After that, I think the parish councils have to come together and do something. You understand? I'm telling you. Right now, I'm telling you. So, me, Tigata give Paul Hall till the Destination League in June. Give him until June. You understand? Make us see him have. Four games that him lose. You understand? 4 games that him lose. So, make us see what he
Travis, let me address it. Travis, let me tell you the major difference. You see the major difference with this? When Tappa started, remember, the man start off hot. So I remember that. That is the difference. You can't start off lukewarm and I lose so much game. That's what I say. If we lose 10 games, what's the point? That's what I'm saying. I give him 10 games. If I say I win in the first 10 games, let him go. That's the difference, We need a good start as well. Not just to get rid of him. We need a good start.
Okay. All right, so let's go to some. Grant say you want Paul Hall to call a younger player and then sack him if him lose all 3 games. Not necessarily. We might say progress. You understand? We might see what him trying to do. That who want to see now. Who want to see a plan. You understand? Who want to see a system That's what we want to see. We want to see what Paul can do. You understand? What him can turn players, you know. So we don't really want to sack him. But if he might lose a lot of match, you know, we
Look at what last Tiga.
Tiga pull a disappear, you know.
Yeah.
Tiga the magician.
No reach cricket. Yeah.
You may understand how we just gone a while ago.
yeah,
Tiga jump off man.
a while ago. I don't know what happened a while ago. I was reading the comment and everything just got black. All right, sorry about that, my fans. Sorry about that. They're playing Paul 2026. What you say, Eddie? Paul 2026?
What that one calendar? What do you mean by Paul 2026? No man, it's too early, man. It's too early for us to really say that. Because a lot of persons
we
know.
have a game our World Cup and we have a game the
everybody
nation.
waxing lyrical now. Paul this, Paul that. It put things into perspective. You know, we do probably next year everybody the same Giovanni cry out and I say Paul out. So we don't know. So let's not jump the gun. We could just see him progress.
All right,
Please.
Gentlemen. 5 more minutes left, 4 more minutes left into the program. And we going to start by Eddie. Our guests are going to go last, you know. Give us your final take of the Jamaican campaign along with JFF. What you think should really happen now? Eddie, your final thoughts. We have 4 minutes. You get 2 minutes. Formula get 2 minutes, and then we're gonna close out.
All right. First of all, people, big up Formula Sports. You guys can go over there, subscribe to the Formula Sports. You know, if you don't know, now you know. Basically, it's been a terrible campaign. Didn't start well, didn't end well. A lot of ups, no, a lot of downs. I think it's just one up, and that was a game against Honduras. But you know, to be honest, there were ups in games. You know, because we took the lead in 3 games, so we were on a high in a couple of games. But you know, it all ended in disappointment. You know, we kept on doing the same thing over and over. Poor management on the coaching staff side, poor management on the federation. You know, top to bottom. You know, rookie mistakes. The virus played a big part in all of this as well. You know, we not having our best team, you know, to play against teams. You know, remember we went to Mexico and these red listed countries. We didn't have our best teams, so that hampered a lot. You know, we didn't have Ravel to go to USA. You know, Grant. You know, so and the chopping and changing, and then the government of Jamaica. Why them be too bad?
Be everybody.
Yeah, right. Them be too bad, you know, not allowing fans in the stadium. It could have been, and I think it would have been a huge difference having fans in all of the home games. You know, we could at least garner probably 4 points more, you know, just by having the fans there to push the team. And you know, it wasn't we weren't lucky. You know, we weren't lucky at all. You know, a lot of things went against us. You know, the Damon Lowe goal not being called. You know, that's a huge 2 points drop there. So, you know, a lot of unlucky moments. You know, but, you know, in football, them say you make your own luck. And we cannot cry about not being lucky in games. We just have to just take it on the chin. And our next point is the whole chemistry. You know, Tiga love this topic. You know, the team not being able to gel together. You know, leading up to this campaign, we tried to put the teams together. You know, for friendly games and Gold Cup, but for some reason we couldn't have the best team to play. You know, we got the games, and you know, issues game being cancelled. So you know, you remember that the whole Japan tour fiasco. You know, didn't have the players. You know, the wage negotiation. So going all back. So it was just, I don't think it was meant to be. and the worst part is that we kept, having and sharing hope that at some point we'll turn it around. And that moment never came at all. It was there. It was there. We kept holding on to that hope. If we win this game, if we win this game, if we win this game. And it just didn't happen. And that's it, the fat ladies sing and we're out. There no more Qatar, no Qatar dream. So nobody will be booking their flights to Qatar. So it's sad. So, we have to move on, We cry. If we just cry and move on to 2026.
Okay. Boy, Eddie, you take up all 4 months, but we're going ahead. Formula. Formula. Tell me,
I'll keep it sharp for you guys.
This World Cup campaign,
Yeah, man, I'll keep it quick. I think we need to sit down and try and analyze what's the root cause of our World Cup qualifying campaigns constantly failing. We need to really sit down and really examine, what could have been what are the respective issues at play as to why, this particular campaign would have, been so. I mean, it never really got off the ground, to be honest with you. I think we also need to try and find a way to examine other jurisdictions, especially within Concacaf, like the Costa Ricas, like the Americans, rather, the Canadians as well. We need to sit down and examine what are they doing that we are not doing. Panama as well. What are they doing that we are not doing? We really need to do a deep dive into our CONCACAF rivals and find the answer to that particular question. So things can't remain the same, though. Things have to change. We can't. It cannot be business as usual. Every 4-year cycle is the same foolishness. It can't be business as usual. So that's my final thoughts.
Okay. Claudia Mary said, glad to see them try. Yeah, but fail effort. My thoughts, final thoughts of this campaign, a very disappointing one. You understand? From beginning, it was very disappointing. We were calling for chemistry from the beginning of the campaign. We have high hopes for these players coming in. We got some really good players, really classy players coming in to the team, we think they would make a difference. You understand? And they would have made a difference if they had come in the team at a longer period. You understand? Mikel really stamped his authority, scored 2 beautiful, I'm not taking up the penalty, but he scored 2 beautiful goals. So you can just imagine if he was playing longer for Jamaica, So we lost in midfield. They did not solve that problem. Our midfield, we lost. I think that's where we lost and failed to qualify in midfield. You understand? They failed to qualify through the midfield. But very disappointed. Another 4 years we have to go wait. And JFF, please get your act together. This hurt us bad. But what is going to hurt us more is the next 26 World Cup, and the game is playing in our backyard and we can't make it. I think if we don't make that World Cup, JFF will go bundle. Now I go bundle JFF. So I'm drastic. I go happen.
The views expressed by T-Gat are not necessarily those of Sports Detail.
Not necessarily those of the Formula Sports either.
Yeah.
But me see the people them go, cause right now them arch wrench. If you watch the vloggers, them cry. You understand? Formula Sports, DTM, all of the vloggers, them coach it will cry. We try to do everything. But if the game are gonna play in our backyard, I will not dead it. I tell you. Boy, I tell you. But anyway, we got to get our act together. You understand? We have to get our act together. We have to start the rebuilding process now. We have to start the rebuilding process now. Call players, start cap players, and try get a system. Please don't wait until the last minute to get in these players, 6 months and stuff like that. Get a coach who can pay for the next 6 years. You understand? And let the coach come with a decent system. Try put in some place. In the meantime, try get the team qualified for Olympics. You understand? Send our players to get them qualifying for the Olympics and other leagues. You know, start winning the Gold Cup. Jamaica need to win the Gold Cup now. You understand? We have quality players can win the Gold Cup. We need to win the Gold Cup. You understand? Start winning some competition. When you start win JFF, when you start win competition, the private sectors will back you. Jamaicans like winners. You understand? The Jamaicans like winners. If you're not winning, they're not going to back you. If you start to win, people will back you. We get sponsor. Just start to win. You understand? And we want to thank all the people that been watching us on DTM Live. I want to thank my host guest, Eddie. And also I want to thank the Formula Sports, good friend of ours. We can call on him at any time to come on to share his thoughts and an opinion. And we can also go over there and share our thoughts and an opinion. So big up the Formula Sports. Remember to check him out. You understand? And watch his channel. He has some good content. You understand? Check him out tomorrow. I think you're going live tomorrow, Formula, right? I'm gone. I look like I'm gone. Anyway, I want to thank my co-host guest, Eddie, for stopping by. Formula, you're back. I was asking if you're going live tomorrow.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So check him out. He has content. You understand? You can watch him. Travis, big up yourself. Paul Hall is the coach. Yes, Paul. Yes, Travis. We want him to remain the coach. We want to see what he has in store of Jamaica football program. You understand? We want him to stay on as long as possible. We want him to get us back on track and want us to get us he as a team and get us start to win football. Start win over about the nation. You understand? Start win over about the nation and stuff. So we want to thank everybody for joining Sports DTM. This has been another episode of Sports DTM Live. See you again next week, Thursday. We will have a special guest, maybe Formula, maybe somebody else in our studio as we talk about football and all the sports has been happening in Jamaica. And check us out on on the YouTube for our break-ins. All right. You have a wonderful night. Good night. Thank you all.
What?